Yo, what up, Koku?
What up, Drew? What's up?
It's been a minute,
It
but
has. What you been busy?
yo, I mean, not enough, but the world's busy around us. So I'm like, let's get it in.
Let's get it in because it's a lot to talk about. Like we gotta speed it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm Drew Breez, and I'm just trying to catch up with white people news today.
Yes, I'm Koku, aka Koku Puff, and the white people are white people in a powerful, powerful. Like it's just crazy. The
Yo,
levels are unknown. I've never seen this before.
yo, and the white women are white womaning, like in
Yes,
whole new ways, like taking like final form white womaning.
this ain't even like no Karenization we're talking about.
Nah. This
This
is
is
like
like
A-listers.
yeah, this is A-lister like Dynasty meets like Baby Boy.
Dynasty meets Baby Boy. That's
That's
perfect.
exactly what it is.
Yo, it's
Mhm.
Succession meets Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
That's literally what it is. Like we're talking about, yes, that's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, so the biggest white mess since Game of Thrones season finale has dropped on us this week. And to the point where like now black people feel like we have to know because we're so not in on it that we have to like summarize it to others. So I'm like, we're coming kind of as like the representatives for the black people who might know and
Yeah,
trying to give our best sort of understanding of what's going on.
just trying to provide some clarity,
Yeah, absolutely. I
on the
mean,
circumstances.
so you said something that was really clear, which is that Harry Styles is the most famous white person.
I think right now, I think Harry Styles, just if we just sort of like took him a median age type of thing,
Mhm.
he is the most famous white person or one of in the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I
Like
mean,
we're not
like,
talking about sports figures. We're talking about
right,
just generally speaking.
right, not Rob Gronkowski, nothing like that.
No,
We're
he.
This is for real. Like, no, I mean, Tom Brady. I feel like Tom Brady has a claim. He might have a claim to famous white person. I don't know what you count Cristiano Ronaldo if we're talking athletes, but
That's what I'm saying. Like I know what. Like I think Ronaldo may actually be world famous more so than
sure,
Tom
sure,
Brady. Sure.
sure.
Now, and which in a bizarre world, the Giselle Bundchen connection for Tom Brady probably gives him some sort of universal appeal because his
Yeah, that's
wife
very
is a
true.
supermodel.
That's very true. That's very true.
But Cristiano Ronaldo, that is a like soccer is different. Like
Yeah, yeah. Like
it's not what
everybody.
it's
Like,
not what we know. It's a
yeah.
different beast. Yeah.
Like people in Uruguay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we'll be like, oh yes,
Uruguay and Paraguay.
yeah,
Like
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Ecuador, you know what I'm saying? All my peoples.
checking
Um,
in.
but Harry Styles, you know, formerly of, if I'm correct here, and I cited this earlier, so you're gonna have to verify. He was on in One Direction, right?
That
Like,
that is correct.
okay, as he's the Justin Timberlake of the
Yes,
One Direction group. He's the
that
Beyonce of One Direction. He broke out, and
mhm,
now he's a big star.
that's correct.
Are there any other notables from One Direction that you know of? Like we're going through our kind of like mental index of what,
I'm be honest. There's one other one that I knew of the name, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I
and
had
these are
heard it
not
before.
these are not Jonas's. They're
No, yeah,
okay.
we know
This
the
is a
Jonas
different.
Brothers.
Okay, okay,
Oh yeah, I knew Zayn. I know who
okay.
that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And was he what? Because he's married to the other.
Um,
Is he married to Priyanka Chopra? Is that the one?
is Zayn the one that's married to her? Yes,
Oh
I think
no,
it was
that's a
Zayn.
Jonas. That's a Jonas.
That's a
That's a
Jonas.
Jonas.
Oh, this is
I'm
really
crossing
bad
wires.
because
I'm already.
not only are you crossing wires, that's racist. Like it's just really inappropriate.
That's wild. Like I got my dark whites confused. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that is Harry Styles. He's the most notable member of One Direction, potentially one of the most popular musicians in the world, right?
Yeah.
He is now the lead of a film called Don't Worry, Darling,
Yes.
right? So I feel like we're getting like the bell is dinging. Like buzz me if I'm wrong at some point. Like give me like a but I feel like so far we got Harry Styles, most famous musician in the
Yes.
world.
Like you have to really frame that. That is a very
Mhm.
important piece to
It
this.
is. It's a huge detail. So the director of this film is also a big part of the story, and her name is Olivia Wilde, if I'm correct,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles are connected because they once or are dating. Are they still dating? Is That's a
I
very
believe that they may still be dating, but it
okay.
gets messier than that. And there's a component to this that we totally
Okay.
forgot to talk about. How do you say Shia's name? Shia. I
Shia
always get my
LaBeouf.
African bag. I never know how to say people's
It's
names.
all good. It's called. It looks like Shia.
Shia. See,
It
I
looks
just yeah,
very
Shia
like Shia.
LeBouf.
Mm-hmm.
Shia. I
Shia
never know how to
LaBeouf.
pronounce people's names, and
Shia
I
LaBeouf.
so very.
He out here in the world in the streets.
He was initially supposed to be cast
Right.
for the role that Harry Styles took on.
Right.
So the press run of this movie has gone, it's just gotten really messy. It's been weird to start with. People were curious about it because Harry Styles was going to be in it, but then
Right.
she made a statement like, well, Shia LaBeouf was not going to be in the movie because, I guess she made it seem like it was like a conflict or something like that, but like it was drama. And she was like, he gave her like a real like bless your heart kind of like, yo, per my last email, let me show y'all. Like he really showed receipts. Like he sources say it, right?
Yeah.
So
I
he
heard his
sources said on
sources
her app.
said her sources said was some video sources said.
She
Like
had
I
a
heard it
she
was
was
like a
begging him. Yeah, she was
right.
begging and pleading like an R&B song
Yeah.
featuring Harry Styles.
Yeah.
So she was begging and pleading, like, yo, Shia, like, we really want you to be part of this project. And it's like, she was just basically just lying. That's what I told, don't I always tell you, people be lying? Like, I
People be
really
lying.
just,
People be
I
lying.
know, I say this
Absolutely.
all the time. People be lying. Like, I
Yeah.
wish everyone knew to the extent that which the lies are so blatant, they're so unimportant, they're so non-essential, and they're so creepy for that reason. She lied on him. The thing is, like, Shia LaBeouf has now had a really good press run. He's already in his creep bag because he's had like substance abuse problems.
And then the FKA Twigs trial.
Yes, she was saying that he was like physically abusing her.
He took
She
her
was even bringing in
hostage, apparently.
another ex-girlfriend she was partnering up with. Like, listen, we went through this thing to, both. Let's kind of team up together and bring this guy, let's bring some justice to this. So he's got a really, so of course, naturally, when people get into the abuse space, which is why, again, like I said, people be lying. And I don't know nothing about Shia. I do not know this man. He's not my friend. I do not know him. But now suddenly he's gone into like he's in his like like he's in his own stage and he's very like much so like this and he's meditating
he's doing yoga,
doing that. He's giving his
he's
salutations.
in rehab. He's
he's
all
doing
the steps,
all the PR steps, but he's also very much so in like that kind of like signing off like God bless you and Bible verse passages and so forth. So I always get little like you start calling upon Jesus every other second. I don't know where that is,
I mean, here's the thing about Shia LaBeouf too, is that he's in multiple layers of controversy right now. So it's like he was apparently originally cast for Don't Worry Darling, gets he leaves, right? But he was also in the midst of his own, the civil trial with FKA Twigs that's coming up in the spring. So he's sort of like
that's not even concluded.
Right. And so it's like he's sort of trying to get ahead of it. There was a big Times feature, a New York Times feature that had like a lot of sources, right? There was a lot of sources from FKA and others, like studio sources, friends of his, unnamed and named, who were basically weighing in on the potentially like bombshell case that is going to be laid out against him in the civil suit, right? But then in addition to that, he put out a movie called Honey Boy that was supposed to be loosely based on his life, and it was supposed to be about his abusive relationship with his dad, and all that shit was a lie. All of it was a lie.
Pretty normal life. My dad was actually pretty cool. It was like, what?
It's like, where are you coming from right now?
Why would you do this?
Yo, and it's crazy because part of his media run recently has been to like basically confess that he's a jerk. Maybe in the hopes that like that kind of absolution will put him on easy street later. Like maybe in like a year and a half, 2 years, he can kind of like clean up his name with a lot of this, like, I'm in Betty Ford, like that kind of deal.
I think people like honesty, but and people like honesty and they like when people accept like who they are and what they're about. But people also don't like bullshit.
Right.
So there's definitely like there's a level, there's a way you can go and be like, listen, I messed up, and this is where I am, and this is where I'm going, this is where I intend or hope to be. Then there's also like, I'm doing a media run, and I hope you guys see my film and stream it, and you know, like please like my Instagram picture.
Right. So he was towing that line, and I don't know whether or not he stepped away from the movie, from Don't Worry, Darling. If the studio felt like maybe it was bad timing, whatever it was,
he seemed to say he stepped away, and he says
he says he stepped away.
He says he stepped away, and he said it was because they did not have the same kind of rehearsing style. That is his excuse.
And
but
he's a wild weirdo. Like on set,
like
he already has a reputation for being very weird,
very strange, and like method acting on like an intense level, like that kind of Christian Bale thing where it's like, dude, hello, like I'm okay. Can we just? Do you need to use the bathroom? Are you hungry? Like let me do normal real quick. They don't do normal. Like they get into the zone, and that's it. Yeah.
And then Olivia Wilde says that now this is where Florence Pugh comes in. So Florence Pugh is the female lead of Don't Worry, Darling. She's people, if you've seen Midsummer, that's the thing she might be most known for. She's an Oscar nominee. And Olivia Wilde says in her version of the press run, as she's going out as the, female director, like she's taking that mantle, like female director, my directorial kind of like debut. I'm going to do some outstanding stuff. I wanted him off the movie, Shia LeBouf, because he's unsafe. And because he's going through the FKA Twig stuff, because he's kind of known as a little bit of a weirdo and an abusive partner, she's like, I wanted him off that, right? So that's when he comes in, is like, actually, that's not what these
but it's
emails
Olivia Wilde that's saying this. It wasn't Florence Pugh.
It was right. But Florence Pugh did actually, in a Variety piece, say that she felt potentially,
which would be fair. Exactly. If she said that, then I get it. Yeah, but
Olivia Wilde jumped out the window to be like, I got him off the film in order to keep her safe.
Oh, that's
right. So she was like, all right, that's what we doing. Cool. I'm like, me too. She said, me too. And she was like, I'm gonna get him off the film in an interview. Then when Shia's receipts drop, I think that's when Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde, in addition to the sex scene thing, like that's when they really Florence Pugh was like, yo, you're a wild fake.
Yeah. Because the thing is, what Florence Pugh had a problem with is she didn't have a problem with the movie necessarily. What she had a problem with was that Olivia Wilde represented the film as if it was centered around the sex scene.
Right.
And Florence is like, I'm an actor, and I'm not only sensitive, but I'm serious about my shit. Don't use that scene as if it's like it anchors everything that happens in this particular film, or like overstate what it really meant. Like it might have just been like, it seems like from what Florence is saying, it was just like maybe like a sexual encounter in the moment. And Olivia wants to make it seem like it's going to be so much that's going to draw people to the film when it wasn't maybe that magnified. And that's the problem Florence has. Like you said, just why are we being fake here? Like, let's just talk about what really,
Yeah. And then in addition to that, it's like, you're hyping the movie and the lead because Harry Styles is your boyfriend. Like, you're because how old is Olivia Wilde? Probably like 38, 39.
It says Olivia Wilde is 38 years old.
Right. And
Harry Styles is
28. Okay. I thought he was 26. 28. That's not as big of a gap as I originally thought.
It's not. I thought he was younger, to be honest.
I thought he was younger. Yeah. Especially like,
I thought she was older.
The kind of fame that he has and what crowd he has it with. So it's almost like you got your little boyfriend in here. He don't really act.
When you say you Lil, that's when
he don't really act like that. He don't act right. Like he was quoted in an interview saying when they asked him what made him choose to be in the movie, he said because it felt like a movie. When I read the script, it sounded like a script. It was some wild shit like, yo, you don't be here. You don't be doing this. Like,
oh my God.
This is like to look cute for your girlfriend. And like she wanted a replacement that was a name. And so she chose someone way outside of the acting and performing lane, and who also is like, I mean, is that the same as nepotism? I don't know. It doesn't apply if it's not family, but like it's definitely some blurry ethical shit.
You know what it is? It's not nepotism per se, but it's like casting couches. Like it's in that realm. Like it's like people just basically using. I mean, And I wouldn't even really say that it's Harry Styles using anything in this sense, but it's more so somebody just saying like, listen, I'm banging you, so like, do my film.
Yeah, I mean, so that, but then also like when you think about Florence Pugh's position as, Oscar nominee, she's young in the game, right?
Right.
And like people may be taking her seriously because she's good and she's young and she has the look. And if you're in a movie and you choose it for whatever potential you felt it had, and maybe you heard when you got signed to it, like,
And
okay,
everything becomes chaos.
then it's like, what? Like, so now Harry Styles is in it. Like, what are we doing now? And so I can imagine her feeling like I had this expectation of what I was going into, and now it's turned into something completely different.
Completely different. And it's messy, and it's become a thing.
So now the climax is the video. It's like there's a Cruder film of this whole situation where I don't know what really happened.
I don't know.
This is
a legend to the max.
It's a legend to the max, but there's literally a video too, though.
And I saw it and I believe it.
Okay, so you are in the camp solidly of Harry Styles.
I'm a truther. I'm a truther.
You're a spit-gate truther.
I'm a spit-gate truther. I think he spit on him. Yeah.
All right. So in the video, that we see Harry Styles. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and get it on screen. Because this shit
don't you worry. Wild. I will have it. I will put.
We're gonna put it in there as the placeholder in general. But like for real, okay. In the newsletter, absorb this. In the newsletter that I got, the headline, and I knew what it was because of the headline in this newsletter. The headline says "Spit happens," right? And I was like, "Oh, word! This is about to be the video." Because I kept scrolling past it on my timeline. Right. And I was like, okay.
It's like, nah, that can't be real.
That can't be real. Yeah. Like, why would you and how could you? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I saw it and I was like, all right, well, this is unclear to me. And I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it because and you're gonna see it on my Zoom real quick. But I'm not convinced by how this goes. All right, so it's running back now. Mm-hmm. That was the end.
Because look how he looks. He stops clapping. He stops clapping. He's laughing.
The reaction is wild.
Yeah, that's spit. That's spit.
But like, don't you think you would see spit though? You don't think you would see
look
spit?
At how it happened really quick. He looks down like.
Oh, we going back to the tape because.
Roll tape. Go back. Yeah, let's go back to the tape.
Hold on.
Go back to the tape.
Now. Okay, here's the thing. At the end too, Harry Styles does sit down like he did some asshole shit. Like he does sit.
He's like, yeah.
Like on some smug, like, yeah, like that was me who spit on you.
Yeah, I spit. What you gonna do about it?
Super wild. It's the pause.
That pause. Like
that pause is it's a pregnant pause. Why would that
be weird?
That's a pregnant pause, yo. Yeah. And it's actually quite crazy when you think about it that you're in front of, forget if there's video being taken. You were in front of people.
You know what it is? The thing is right now, nobody wants to be the next Will Smith moment. So I think what happened is that in attempting to perhaps try to play it down and like, we'll handle this outside, Chris Pine was just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. We'll deal with it outside like men.
As a spit truther, you don't feel like this is Harry Styles. Maybe he has some sort of prank. You know how white boys be on some weird, like, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts, but we friends. Like,
well, this is where the divide comes in. When I realize that, like, I understand that to an extent, like kind of like on television, but that's where the divide comes in because the environment that I come from, and I'm not even saying like I'm on some old like like that's not my environment. But I'm just saying, like, the environment where I come from, if you spit on somebody, that you damn near got you damn near, you know what I'm saying?
We getting the burner.
Yeah. So like that's some situations where it's what I'm saying is it's perceived that way before the person gets the burner. So it's more like, oh, you on that? Well, you know what? Let me tell you what I'm on.
Yeah.
That's
This is like the biggest. Okay, the two biggest live media spit incidents I can think of are Flavor of Love, right?
Oh,
Where
that was
where
yeah.
Pumpkin spits on New York,
Okay.
and then like New York, you could tell. First of all,
That was a loogie too. That was not
yo,
no
it
real.
was a real spit. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
like she ain't hold back. She had some, she had a cold. So she's a bronchial. It was a bronchial spit. And then the Chris Paul Rajon Rondo feud when Rajon Rondo was on, I don't even remember what team he's on, but he spit on Chris Paul, and you could see he does like a little subtle spit, like I'm gonna go real close to you and kind of like that kind of like spit tobacco type levels.
Let me run that back. Let me feel that. Let me see the energy behind that.
Like a
or do you have it where you can run it back?
I can definitely run that. I'm gonna find
Yeah, let's see if you can put it
like
up real
like
quick.
a slowed down version of it.
Yeah. I mean, I could, like I said, we could fix it.
Yeah, of course we can add it in post, but I remember that because I was watching that game, and it was like the way Rondo did it, that was a little closer to the Harry Styles spit, because it was like, unless you was right there or you had a great camera,
you wouldn't necessarily know that's what happened.
You wouldn't know that it was spitting. You had to, like, it was on the Zoom that you had to see. Like,
I'm looking now.
This was absolutely like, oh yeah, here we go, proof. It was one of those where you had to be up close. The only way to see it was to be very, very.
Now he definitely spit on him. Like that was
right.
Yeah,
there's no mistaking that it was spit, right? So
you know what it is I say about people that spit on people straight up. Like, well, first of all, the fact that we have two hold on, what was the first two that you said? Well, we said the Harry Styles.
And Harry Styles and Flavor of Love, Pumpkin spits on New York.
Okay, here's where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. It seems that spitting, this is where the divide comes in. Spitting in the white community doesn't seem to have the same weight. That's where I was going with that.
Okay.
Before we got to the Chris.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see
Paul and Rajon.
You can see the melee here. You know what I'm saying?
That's a melee. That's a kind of a different thing. And like, listen, like Rondo was getting those. They was getting them in too. This is a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a real. That was so.
That's a real fight.
That's after the spit. So the spit happens here.
He moves out of the way, like, yo, like, come on, bro. Like, what you doing?
Right. But it's very subtle. You had to be on the super zoom to see that. You saw that? How you had to be on the super duper zoom to even understand what was going on here.
You can't.
This is one, where you see the fluid. You see just a little fluid.
You can't spit on me, bro. Like, I'm telling you.
On me, bro. Like,
if you spit on me, like, I'm spinning a block. Like, it's a very different story. Like, it's not like it's I'm just trying to tell people right now. Like, you could beat me in a fair one. You could knock me out, have me pass out. You could do 50 million.
That might be the real racial difference here. The real racial, because even when you run back how New York reacted.
That's what I'm saying.
She was ready to kill. Like, she was ready to take producers' heads off too.
You can't spit on us.
Spit on people.
Now I look at the NBA in and of itself, that on a world stage, like, that's a different environment. That's a bubble of a sort. They're not socializing the same way that we are.
Nah. And you honestly, as an athlete, you have a code on the court or on the field or whatever, that certain shit you don't do, but you might expect that to happen. You might expect like some dirty things to happen or some fight inducing type things. They don't want it to happen.
Like the other day, like, dude, like, shoving the ball in people's faces.
Right.
Smacking you in your back.
Right. And kicks in the nuts. Like, kicks in the nuts be happening. Like
crazy shit. Yeah.
Stomps and shit like that.
But there's all kinds of things that, when somebody goes out to play at the park, especially when it be popular games, that could be his baby mom out there.
Yeah.
You smack that man. Foul him. Embarrass him.
I'm running back to the trunk.
It could be all kinds of stuff that would go on. Like, some people just are not built. They're not built for actual competition. I would never say that about Rondo. Like, obviously I think he's very dope. And of course I love CP3. But to spit on somebody, like, to me, that's a disrespect you can't come back from.
Right,
You
right.
can't spit
Well,
on me and think that we're gonna be cool.
but there's the racial difference, right? Because it's like Chris Pine is, he was minding his business. He wasn't part of the mess. Like the mess is happening. Florence Pugh saying quotes. Olivia Wilde's getting called out with receipts. Harry Styles is a bad actor in the scenes that are leaking. So
Yeah.
they're the mess. Chris Pine's not even in the mess. He's
We
like,
don't even
I'm not.
we don't even know the context of Chris Pine not being in a mess.
Right, right. So why did Harry Styles spit on him? Like that's the thing I'm still very confused about. Like my theory is
Did
that
he
it's some white
say
boy shit,
you
like some
better not
prank
be
shit.
sitting? Did he say that you better not be sitting next to my girl?
I mean, that could be it, but I'm like, are they dating? Like what? Like, and
I
then you
thought
can
they
see
were
the
just,
seats are labeled too. Like the seats are there
yeah, that's
labeled.
true.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
so it was nothing for anybody to necessarily know unless you knew.
I don't know. And that's another part, like the depth of the white mess. I don't know if they're still dating. And
Well,
people were speculating that she
Olivia
was dating
Wilde,
him before she got divorced from Jason Sudeikis.
she's got some mess because Sudeikis, isn't he the one that served her papers while she was
Yeah.
doing her? Can you imagine like you're sitting here doing your TED talk, inspiring everyone?
Yeah. And it was over some and again, this is when the depths of the white mess, I need to understand the details better. But it was over some like, oh, we about to get divorced and custody is involved.
Yeah,
Like,
it was custody battle.
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
So
oh,
it's
I
like
see you.
I can't. So
Okay.
the only way I could catch you was like this. So you was dodging me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
Which is hard.
you got Eventbrites and flyers out. You
You
got
know
a
what I
mailing
mean?
list.
I see you on the
I
virtual
see,
screens giving
I
presentations,
see you
yo.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was
Yeah.
like, and here's the thing too, is like Jason Sudeikis, I'm almost sure is getting bigger checks than she is. Cause
Yeah.
it's Ted Lasso. He's
Mhm.
been in movies. Like even after SNL, he had been in movies. Like he has a viable comic lead movie career. So it's not like it was a money battle. Like I don't suspect it was a money battle in terms of like, oh, I'm trying to get money from you. I think it was like, yo, this person has wronged me. Like that's the
Yeah.
behavior of like, nah, I need to catch you where you at on some like Dame Dash Lee Daniels energy. Like, no, I'm gonna catch you where you at, and we're gonna address this because you seem to want to be out in public owing me money, which is that's some
Like
real black
you
shit.
being bold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you being bold. Yeah,
That's the part. That's the part we could understand. We were like,
yeah,
okay, yeah,
exactly.
we
I see you out there
I
saying
see
you
you.
owe me $50. Yo, I was like, but then the other black shit that you brought up is just how Florence Pugh is moving in the situation.
Oh yeah, she really a real black girl with that.
Yeah, she's been a real one. Like she's like, yo, I don't know what y'all be on over there, but I'm Miss Flo, and like I'm gonna
Look,
actually call you what you are.
there's literally like a video that went viral of her. Like everybody's doing what they're doing, and they're all in the middle of this mess. And
Mhm.
Florence Pugh is like in a bikini, like she toasts to the camera with like her rum, her
Yeah,
like beast drink. Says absolutely nothing. Like she's not paying any of this. She's paying
yeah,
dust. She
yeah,
don't care what the hell's going on with these people. She's like, I'm done with this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
With all this weird press, though, do you think that this film is actually going to be good?
39% on Rotten Tomatoes already.
Are
So
you
it's
serious?
39% on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
didn't
It's
get the
like
screener yet. I normally
being
get screeners.
largely panned. And then
Okay.
like I said, the leaked scene with Harry Styles that was supposed to be kind of like an argument scene. And he just like he looks very out of his depth. Like he's switching accents, he's doing Brooklyn accent, he's a Boston
Someone said
guy.
that he was doing it. Yeah.
Right. So he was actually looking a little wild, especially for okay, you're getting paid probably the big bucks to do this leak
Yeah.
and you
Because
look
you're
crazy
you.
out here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is but that's like the footnote is that the movie is bad. Cause it's like with all this buildup, I would say that like there hasn't been this level of white nonsense that other people cared about since Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, because they were just handling that by
Yeah.
themselves. Like Johnny
Yeah.
Depp,
Yeah.
Amber
Yeah.
Heard, that was just among them. And I was like, cool, like whatever that is, you could deal with it. But this is spilled over into us where we're like, what y'all doing over there? Like, what's really good? And I feel like even they don't really know, but they're kind of like getting a kick out of it.
No, Black Twitter got so involved in this. And a lot of it
Yeah.
was like, who? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was what Black Twitter needed to know. Like, we got real.
Who are the equivalents of like if this was like mess in like A-list Black Hollywood that white people would be like who and that we would be like, in a whole frenzy over.
That's a great question.
And I don't know if it would be Hollywood or music or like it would. I don't know
I
because
think I
like
think you'd have to point. I think our music stars tend to be like more uber famous in that
yeah,
sense.
yeah, very true, very
Um,
true.
I mean, I guess like the mess with like anything involving Jada and Will Smith seemed like it was
Yeah.
kind of that messy level.
Definitely. That August
Especially okay.
Alsina, where
I
where
was gonna
someone like
say
August Alsina is in conversations that someone doesn't know who that is. You know what I mean? Like we kind of know, and they're like, wait, so who is August? And do they
yeah,
even really know Jada Pinkett Smith? Like, I'm gonna tell you,
right.
yo,
That's
guarantee
more
you,
equivalent.
guarantee
That's
you,
more
they do
equivalent.
not know who Jada Pinkett Smith is. When I was,
Yeah.
I was at a gig, right? I was at a media gig, like a very big company. And they were trying to do something with Jada's production company dealing with mental health, red table talk. They want to put some sort of content event production thing together. And the Black woman who was on my team was the one who had the contact with Jada's people. And Jada's people were interested. They were like, yeah, because of the company, because of y'all in mental health, y'all be doing y'all thing. We want to do something with Red Table Talk. And so they came with their numbers and shit. And it was like, yo, Red Table Talk, most viewed Facebook watch show, most viewed among Black women, most viewed. Like, so they came with all this. And like, when I tell you, we had the meeting and everybody like from the team and the media company, which was very, very white woman, which was the main consumer. And yo, they were like, oh yeah, like we were talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, me and my Black coworker. Like, yeah, like Jason's lyric, like, we were like bring girls trip, like it looked like a game of charades or taboo, where it was like, girls trip,
But I never thought about that.
and
Yeah.
they
I
were they
never
were
thought
like,
about
oh
them not,
yeah,
yeah.
red table talk, oh yeah. But it was, that look when you don't know some
Yeah.
shit, you keep trying to be like, yeah. So I don't think they really know her outside of being Will's wife. Like they don't really know her, and they don't really know
She
about
doesn't have
Red
an
Table Talk.
identity to them.
They were not like,
Interesting.
yo, Red Table Talk, and I'm talking about the head of PR, head of production at a major fucking company was completely unaware of the existence and popularity of Red Table Talk. So I feel like this is kind of that equivalent because they really know the people involved, and I have zero idea of who these people are outside of
I
this.
didn't know. I could
Like,
honestly in this case, I could only ID Harry Styles.
yeah, you know what, Chris Pine? I've been like going over this in my head. I'm like, did I know who Chris Pine was? Because I was just like,
Like if
okay,
you're being honest with yourself, like yeah, not just
right. Like I couldn't name a role where I was like, oh, he's
yeah.
Captain America. Like none of that. Like, but I know he's in major shit, but I have no idea what it is. I thought he might be one of the Chris's with a brother. That's not that Chris. He's a different Chris. But I think the only other person in this situation I think I knew was Olivia Wilde, and that was because of the Jason Sudeikis shit.
I knew her. I knew she looked familiar. I would not have been able to be like, oh, that's Olivia Wilde.
Right,
I knew
right,
her
right,
face. Yeah.
right,
So
right. By face,
literally,
it would have been hard.
I know who Harry Styles is, but
Right,
I
right.
can't. I have to be honest. No, I didn't know.
No, I didn't know that part. So, I mean, I think this is probably like the peak white mess, and it's the thing that I was saying to you, which was like, we got to get our foot back on white people's neck. Like they're a little too like free in these streets right now, like having a lot of fun with these movie stars and shit. I was like, yo, BLM summer, they wasn't talking. They was like in the DMs, like, are you okay? Like,
the
how are
hell
you
is going
doing?
on? Now
And
you
it's a
too
playground right now for the white
messy.
people, man.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like how that
Took
looks.
the goddamn masks on, started catching monkeypox, COVID 3-4 times in a row. Like the hell is going on over there? Drink some fucking water, white people. Craziness. I'm concerned.
Drink some
This is all
water. I mean, put
it's
moisturizer on your
contagious.
skin.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah, but we're
Harry
dragged
Styles to
in,
spit
yo.
on me.
Yo, we have bigger issues, yo. We have bigger issues with y'all that we need to address
Yes.
right now. I feel like this is a diversion.
Yeah, like why the fuck do you guys never move over to the other side of the sidewalk when somebody's walking directly and like actually obeying the right of way?
In Bed-Stuy, Like
never, yeah, it could be anywhere.
it could be anywhere.
4 o'clock in the morning.
You know what I'm saying? Florence Pugh is what y'all worried about. And that's, you know, your priorities.